Welcome to part 2 of Bugs Bunny's Crazy Castle 2. And here we're starting to go with we're still in the first half, but taking on stages 6 through 9 today. And with this stage, there's plenty of 10-ton weights you can drop on Yosemite Sams, and the reason this can be kind of tricky is that the timing can be a little off, especially when Yosemite Sam just decides to go wherever he wants, instead of actually going where you can hit him. And you can also use the door mechanic that I talked about in the first part to get to him. And this level is actually kind of simple once you get past this part. And the reason for that is some of the keys are spelled out in front of you, but there are also some keys you have to get through the doors. And as you can see, I'm going to need a hammer that I'm pretty sure I already got. This is also where the levels start getting a lot longer, in that you actually have to do a lot more just to clear the levels. And see right here, there's some ghost you have to use arrows on. It's actually pretty basic. You just have to make sure you have enough to work with. Yeah, I think I'm trying to get a little fancier here. And let's see, that's 5 keys. They also start introducing warps in this stage. Or actually, they did much earlier. There's the clock. What the clock does, it freezes enemies in place for a certain amount of time. You can actually tell when the clock's about to expire based on the music. And right there you can get a 1-up. 1-ups are always fun, especially in this game. And that should be the last one. So just going up here, taking the warp, and taking it right to the end of the stage. Yeah, the new gimmick in that stage was the clock. That was really about it. In stage 7, you get introduced to the lightning bolt, which kills all enemies on the screen. But that said, because the screen is kind of small, you do want to be careful with this thing and make sure they're the most possible enemies on the screen, so you can do that and take out a ton of enemies at once. And you'll see later on that I'll put this to better use. But this is one stage where you have to climb up, and you could get caught off guard at certain times when you're trying to go up a pipe, or you're trying to take an upspring, which I don't think you have to worry about here. Right there is also the shield. What the shield does, it protects you from enemies. It doesn't kill them, but it does protect you. So you just pass right through enemies. And right here you have to take the ladders to go into the doors, as well as using the pipes. The easiest part about this is that you can use the pipes to pass between the Tasmanian devils without getting hurt. And you can also use ladders if they happen to follow you into the pipes. And just like so, they also drop down whenever you drop down. They will directly chase you, so you do have to be aware of where they are and when they come down pipes. Right here, just make sure that bulldog is going further away. I think they can climb ladders, but normally it's not that big a problem in this stage, as long as you get up there soon enough. And yeah, you're just collecting more keys at this point. I actually really shouldn't have done that. I probably should have just kept that bulldog there, but instead he's gonna get out and chase me. The good thing about this stage is that all the doors are pretty direct and pretty easy to find. So the stage doesn't really get that hard. Actually, I do find this to be a little bit easier than the stage before. And right here I'm just getting kind of cautious and waiting for that bulldog. Instead, he decides to take the pipe. Actually, dude do want him to get to, or fall down there so he can't bother me anymore. So I can just go to the left and collect that last key. Now with these early stages, you can abuse weapons as much as you want, but also later on you're going to want to keep specific weapons for specific enemies. And you'll see what I'm talking about later in this video, actually. Here we are at stage 8, and stage 8 starts off with a Yosemite Sam, as well as a bow and arrow. And he could actually be a real big pain because sometimes you have to use the pipe to get out of his way. And then sometimes he's going to be right there waiting for you when you use the pipe, because in that door in the level that he's in, or in that top level, is the hammer that you're going to need to get through the stage. Also, bow and arrows are extremely important in this stage because there are a ton of enemies that are restricted to straight lines, like that ghost and Yosemite Sam. They're both restricted to straight lines, so they can't take pipes or go up or down doors. Instead, you just have to take them out when you see them. And here I'm being a little too, I guess, rash with my weapons. And see, right there, I could have given them the slip with using the upspring or the pipe, one of those two. But instead, I shot him. And the reason you do want to be careful with these weapons is that you can get trapped later on in the stage by certain enemies, mainly either the ghosts or Yosemite Sam or the coyotes. Yes, Wily Coyote's actually back too. And that mouse will follow you up the pipes. And there, I got pretty lucky. That Wily Coyote decided not to follow me. And see, right here, I need to actually just get this key before I end up going up. And right here, you pretty much do have to use an arrow against that ghost. And the mice actually will follow you if you're on a tightrope. If you're on a tightrope, the mouse will chase you. But here, I'm just trying to get him to go to the left and also fall off. Preferably fall off. And he does so. So here you want to take the tightrope and go down. So you can get yourself another key. And that's a little bit of a short backtrack. But yeah, this is where the game actually starts getting a lot harder, since the stages get longer, and also you do have to worry about multiple enemies at times, and you also have to plan ahead. And right here is where I screw myself by not having any more bows and arrows. So I try to get up there sooner and end up getting myself killed. That's just what it looks like after you die. But now that I'm more careful this time, I'm actually gonna wait for that coyote to come down the pipe after me. Just as soon as he goes down the pipe. Yeah, that's one thing you do have to take advantage of in this game, is that you're gonna have enemies that can follow you through pipes. And you actually want to bait them in this game a lot more than you do in the first one. Let's see, there are 2 more bows and arrows, so just in case, as long as you have one, you still got plenty of room to work with, or plenty of wiggle room. Instead, I'll just take everyone out, because I can. Also, that last key is going to be behind that block where that mouse is, so I have to let him out. I could have shot him, but really I just decided to be fancy here. Yeah, see, I don't think the dark mice chase you up ladders. I know the light-colored mice will. Not so sure about the dark ones. So at this point, I think I just say screw it and shoot him. Or not. Instead, I will get the last key, scramble up the ladder quickly, and go up the pipe. And that way you can finish the stage. Just in case you don't have all 8 keys, you can use that pickaxe to go back and get the keys. Of course, it is going to be a lot harder since there are some enemies that you had to run from instead of kill. But now for stage 9, and I actually start this completely backwards. What you're supposed to do is go to the left first, but what I'm trying to do here is go down. And the reason this is backwards is because you're going to have to come back here soon enough anyway after you're done going up. And just a daffy a bunch of foghorn leghorns. They actually can be an issue if they surround you. And right here, thanks to some fancy door footwork, I end up getting out of it. Yeah, the reason that was backwards, as I've said before, is that you're supposed to actually go up first and get those 2 doors. Also, that bow and arrow does help. And right here, it's actually more about space because you do have ways out. And you can either use the pipe, or you could actually shoot foghorn leghorn, but that's really not a good idea. And right here is where you do have to start being careful with your weapons. And I went through that door again just to stop him again, or freeze him. And that's number 3. You can take a quick shortcut dropping down from here. I am kind of hesitant since I didn't know if there was going to be a foghorn leghorn waiting for me. And here I have to run from one of them. Fortunately, they will chase you through doors, so that's something you can use to your advantage, is that you can go in the same door and not get hurt. And there, I'm just freezing him. That's one thing you do have to do a lot later in the game. At this point, I just say screw it and use a bow and arrow. Now, right here, Daffy is not really that big a problem since you do have a 10-ton weight, and also there are doors, so you can freeze him. And right when I'm about to kill him, I end up getting a shield. That's really hilarious. Yeah, so those black blocks are tars. They slow you down just enough. I mean, other enemies actually go normal speed, but you go slower, and that's just life. So here I need to just keep going. Here I'm gonna have to climb up actually, and since there's a Daffy there, I can either shoot him, or what I'm gonna try and do is get him to go to the left. And when he goes to the left, I'll go in that door to freeze him. Except I didn't get there soon enough. But in fact, that didn't really work. That guy I just shot was the flame. And what the flame does, it just walks from side to side. Doesn't really do much else. They actually can be a trouble when they're very cheaply placed. But other than that, they're not that big an issue because they are very predictable, unlike Yosemite Sam, who just goes wherever the hell he wants. And, yeah, you can shoot the flame with arrows or blow it up with bombs just like any other enemy. But here I can freeze Daffy, which is always good. And I can go here and get myself some more arrows. There, I'm gonna need the hammer to finish the stage. You can actually drop down from the right and actually go backwards here. But I choose not to do that. Instead, I'll just ride this thing up. And just might as well get these flames out of the way. Since they won't chase you up ladders, you do have to shoot them when you're in that narrow space. But with that, let's just take the spring and finish the stage and finish the video. So join me next time as I take on more stages in this crazy castle. See you then.